What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at some Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates villains figures here. So since we did the 4 turtles not too long ago, we decided to pick up some villains as well for them to fight against. So first in front here, we of course got to have Shredder and Krang, our two main bad guys from the TV show. So it looks pretty cool. Again, these are mostly based off the old Playmate toy designs from the late 80s, early 90s. So that's why both the figures look weird. Not exactly how they do in the show, but both of those look fun and cool. Of course, we get alternate, like we get 2 heads or bodies, and then Shredder, we get the old like Playmates head. That's pretty fun, as well as some weapon accessories. So both of those look cool. And behind that, of course, we've had Bebop and Rocksteady, our 2 henchmen. So again, based off the old Playmates toys. So Bebop has a weird like pink head, but still looks pretty cool, as well as Rocksteady with his big rhino head. And both of those figures look pretty awesome and exciting as well, with all their accessories they're going to come with to be able to fight against the Ninja Turtles. So we got these 4 figures to look at today that I'm excited about. So let me get these open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. Well, let's start off with Shredder, who of course is a Rocksteady, the evil leader of the Foot Clan. Now he looks cool here, again based off the old Playmates toys with these designs, which we do actually have the Playmates figures, of course the newer released ones, so I will show you that so you can see what the figures are more based off. But Shredder looks pretty cool here. Of course, it doesn't look how he does in the cartoon. I also got the NECA cartoon figure just so you can see those differences, but it looks pretty good with his helmet on. So we have like his samurai style helmet with of course the layering and the spikes that come off to the side, which look pretty nice with the blue colors. So it looks like we have 2 different shades of blue. They're not far off. So we have like this like bluish green color. It has sort of like a green tint to it as well, with a nice metallic blue of about the same color. So the spikes up top are in the metallic blue, as well as the linings there at the bottom. So that looks nice. And those same colors carry on to the armor. So we get the spikes with the armor pad, and again like the spikes and the trim around him are in that metallic blue. So same there for the ones on his arms and his legs as well. So that's nice. Then we get his purple mask covering up his face. So obviously they try to hide the identity of a Rocksteady, so his face is covered up there with his cloth. Then we go to his cape. So he's got the nice purple cape. Now the fabric one came on it in the box, so we have the fabric one there, and it has the belt around the waist, sort of keeping it all tied together. But we can undo this, so it just got a little Velcro piece, and take that off, and it is a stretchy material, so that's pretty nice. But we can take that off to see more of Shredder itself and get the fabric out of the way, which it feels like it does have a wire, and a very thin wire, which is kind of crazy. I didn't think it had one, but yeah, there is a wire in it, so around the edges and the bottom as well, so you can get it bent up and flowing in different positions. So that is pretty nice overall. Really like the layout. It'd be nice if it had it up here as well. At least it doesn't feel like there's much of a wire, because it'd be nice to get the lay flat down on his chest there. But he is shirtless, so we don't have any shirt on him at all. He's got the wrappings around his wrist, so again, nice purple design. So wrappings there on the forearms going down into the hands. Then we get a belt around his waist, a black belt, again very similar to that old toy, and then purple underwear, purple pants, whatever there on his crotch, with black leggings coming down. And then all the way we get those guards there on his shins, with the purple wrapping shoes there on his feet as well. So it looks pretty nice overall design wise. This is a really nice looking figure, but like I said, obviously taking inspiration from that old toy. Now moon-wise, we get that'll twist all the way around. It can look down that far enough for pretty much no movements at all. So unfortunately, that's an issue with these. They don't really have any movements, so just a little rocking there. But the shoulders will come up. Now it only comes up that far, unfortunately, because of the shoulder pad. So it only goes up that far and can rotate around. We get a bicep twist and the single elbow joint that bends about to 90 there, with the rotation in that joint. The wrist will twist all the way around and can hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab. Actually, there's no ab crunch on these, but it does twist around at the waist, so it'll twist all the way around there. Then we go down to the hips. That'll come up pretty close to 90, and out to the side he can do the split, so pretty nice with those joints. Of course, I don't like how the hips stick out so much, so that's kind of an annoying thing. But there's a thigh twist in there as well, so you can see it's kind of like a bowl style joint or whatever there, with the leg that comes up around it, so it allows for twisting, so you can get those arranged. Then we get the single knee joint that bends back there, again close to 90, not all the way, but it has rotation in it as well. We get a shin twist at the top of the boot. Of course, got to get the arm out of the way there. And then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty good range of movements. Obviously, it's a Super 7, so like the single knees and elbows are always a big issue because it hinders posing, which is always quite annoying. But hopefully with some of the figures, like it won't really matter too much. Like if they just hold guns or weapons stuff, don't really need to get in the craziest poses. But for me, I assume like Shredder would be nice to have a little bit more range than what this is offering, but it still looks really nice overall. Now, as I said, this is based off the old Playmates toys, so I'll show you each one of those. So again, this is the newer re-release one, so not the old classic ones from the 80s, but this is what the Shredder looked like. So you can see pretty similar designs. You know, you can see all the colors where it's coming from. The cape with this one is also wrapped around him there, so we can pop that belt off and have it similar to what I have this one now, but still has the same like underwear and pants designs. Everything is pretty much the same. Blue collars on it. Now, as you see, though, the head looks a little bit different, but we do actually get the head that has the very similar design. So there we just have the Playmate Shredder, and again, just for comparison, here is the NECA cartoon Shredder. Now, the Super 7 ones are more a 7-inch scale, where the NECAs are a 6-inch scale, but there you can just see what they look like. So this is what it looks like in the cartoon compared to the toy that was made for the cartoon. But now, accessories for this, first off, we do get an additional head with a head that matches that old toy, where for some reason they printed it weird, where they put some of the face color on his armor piece, and so because they did that, they painted eyelashes on it to make it look like it's part of his head. So we can switch this head out. Now, obviously, I'll just be keeping the normal one on because that's what I think looks better, but it does have this head option as well. So there he's got that head again to make it look more like that Playmates one. So very weird. I don't know why they did. Of course, it was just an error mistake back in the days that sort of continued on and carried over to this toy, but I'll definitely be just leaving this normal head on. Now, before we put the head on, we can also switch out the cape as well, so we can take this cape off. So you could just leave Shredder like that, put his head back on, and it looks nice with that wrapping around there. But we do also get a plastic cape, which I assume will look pretty nice on this. So just a plastic we can put around here. And with that head on there is that, which I actually don't think that looks too bad. Of course, I like it because, you know, fabric capes to me always take up way too much space. Now, I do like that one because it's got the wire in it, so it allows you to pose it around and stuff. So it allows more maneuverability. But this is pretty nice with the plastic, you know, sits nice on the shoulders and sits pretty nice off from there. So I actually don't mind the plastic one at all. I may just leave that on for now. But then he comes with some extra hands, so he's got 2 grip hands on already, so we get a set of fist hands, so a set of fists again with the purple that comes down from his wrappings, and then we get a set of open hands as well. Now, if you saw that original figure had a hand like this, and then a grip hand to hold a weapon, so you can kind of recreate that as well. And then we get the same weapons that the original toy did, so we get the ninja stars, and of course we've seen all these exact ones with the turtles. All the turtles came with these, so we get a set of ninja stars. We get the fist dagger, as well as the guitar, so the little triangle blade there, which looks cool. And then what they have, the Kama sword as it's labeled, so the sword with the like little Kama hook coming off the side. So with that again, and then finally a katana. So of course, get a nice katana there that we can give to him. So their Shredder has the sword, and again, just tried to kind of pose him up like that original Playmates toy, so that is really cool. And finally, he does also come with all the weapons on the like sprue design, so the like little weapons rack, so you can take all these off and, you know, use this as a weapons rack. Now, unfortunately, once again, these don't stand up. You have to get them on like the nice, perfectly flat table just to be able to get it to stand up, but it has all the same weapons, just if you want them all in the solid color, very much like the original toy had, so that is pretty nice. So overall, that looks really good for Shredder. Really love this design, very, especially compared to that old Playmates, a nice improvement, keeping the design and details, but with a more modern action figure that moves a lot more. And I do just want to show, hopefully I'll remember with each figure, I do want to do a size comparison. So here is our Super 7 Donatello for scale, so you can see just how they compare up. So they're the exact same, you know, figure line and all that, so they go together, but just so you see how short the turtles are compared to our normal figures such as Shredder here. So that looks pretty nice scale wise for that. So overall, really awesome to have the Shredder, really cool to have them. Really like the design, love that we get different head options, you know, to make it more like that original Playmates, as well as the different cloak options. Like I said, I do really like this plastic one. I think it sits and works really nice on him, so I'll probably just leave that on for now. But then we get all those weapons, you know, all those additional weapons I don't really care about that we get with the turtles as well. I only care really about the sword for him, so just really nice figure overall. And next we have Krang, which is the brain-like warlord banished from Dimension X that teamed up with Shredder and his Foot Clan to take over Earth. Now, he looks pretty cool here, but don't like overall this design, especially the robot. I think they did I want to say a bad job with the robot. I'm not sure if they did a specifically bad job or just the way the joints work are bad, because very little movements on this, and this thing just falls over, like it doesn't stand up under its own weight. So that really stinks, but we'll go and just take Krang out of this. So we have, of course, the door that opens up, and then we can take Krang out. out. And as you see, as already was taking Krang out, it started to fall apart there, started to fall down. But Krang looks pretty nice, his big brain-like form, so we get the big, like, you know, brain details. Love all this, like, purple veins or blue. It looks blue, I guess, in the camera. It looks more purple, but veins running all over it, which looks pretty crazy. We get the face, so we get the two crazy yellow eyes and the big mouth with the teeth on it for Krang there. And then his two tentacle-like arms coming off to the side there, where these ones are sort of like wrapped around. Now, these do have some movement, so they do rotate around and have joints so they can move up and down there. But that's really all it has movement-wise. But looks pretty nice for Krang overall there. You know, nice to have this. So this alone is what I want, but not really sure like the robot works out too well for it. And speaking of that, so like I said, we do have this clear door that sort of opens up, so that contains Krang inside of it. We get all sorts of tubing and pipes and everything running around back here with nice metallic purple and red design on that. That looks pretty nice. We get some arms that attach here on the front, so we get arms that have some maneuverability, so you can rotate them back and forth a little bit in and out. And then they have like an elbow joint, but it moves side to side instead of up and down like a normal elbow, so that's pretty weird. And the wrist will twist around and hands can flex back and forth, so that's allowed, so you can use weapons and everything, so that's pretty nice. But then we get to the legs, so we have this nice big like teal blue color on the hinges here, or I guess it'd be like the hip joints or whatever, so it allows it to rotate. And then it also has a joint, so it allows it, to flex back and forth there, so in and out. And then we go down to the knee joint that can bend back and forth, but like I said, I think it's like the knee joints and then the feet as well are just too weak, so like if you don't stand them right, it'll just, you know, collapse. So I'll stand them up and it just falls forward, so it doesn't really work out too well. And from the leg there's some rotation, so just under the knee it rotates, and then down to the foot we get this front foot piece that moves up and down. And again, this is a weakness, so it's real loose, so like it doesn't even hold it, so you just barely push and it falls down, so again allowing it to fall forward. And then it has some rotation in that joint as well, so you can get it, you know, if you need to get the foot set at a little bit of an angle or something, it allows for that. But then we have this back part that's permanently there, so it's always flat, so you always got to try and get the foot flat on the ground for that. So it's designed nicely overall, especially compared to the original toy, but it just doesn't function as well. And then something seems off about it, as you see, like I was gonna say, even here it seems like it's like twisted to the side for some reason, even though like I keep looking at it and it looks like the legs are like the joints are all lined up and everything, so I'm not sure why it seems like it's sitting off to the side. It seems like it's like been twisted, so it's almost like a car, you know, that's been in a wreck, that, you know, the body's been like deformed now or something. So it's just kind of weird how it works overall, and unfortunately, like I said, doesn't really work out the best. So this is by far the most disappointing toy of the ones we're looking at today. So yeah, it doesn't really work out too well. It just keeps like falling apart and collapsing like that. So the hands are what really help. Like I can usually get them by probably like push back against the legs, and it'll help keep the legs from falling too far forward, or like as you see it collapse, they'll then land on the ground, so it keeps it standing. So yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to work with here. It's not the best design thing, so this Krang machine is just not good at all, but at least Krang is pretty nice. Now for Krang, we do also get an additional Krang body, so we get two of them, which is pretty nice. So this one just has a more wider mouth. You can see his tongue and teeth in there, but everything else about it looks the same. Just the tentacles come out more and not as wrapped around or curled around, but still the same movements up and down and rotate. So obviously we can put that in the bubble walker as well, so you can choose either one of those Krangs. We do also get his little tripod. Now, unfortunately, just sort of designed, so again, still not the best design, but we can at least put Krang on that, so at least keeps him somewhat off the ground. So that's probably what we'd use, unless we can figure out something to get the walker to work a little bit more, so may just sit him on that. But to go for the walker, since it does have the hand pieces, we do get additional hands, so we get some grip hands, or wider grips, whatever you want to call it there, since it has grip hands with trigger fingers. And then we do also get some hands, so a fist and a pointing finger, so he can always be yelling at any of his minions that have failed him. And again, for the walker, we do get a gun, so we get this nice gun. So it's a brain drain gun, so obviously drain the brain from people. And again, with those grip hands, or I guess the trigger finger hands on this, we can easily put this into his hand like that. So now it's got the gun there that it can use. And to go along with this, we do also have a tube that attaches to it. So the gun here has a little plug piece, and then that connects to the bottom of the walker. So it connects right under there. So maybe it can drain the brains from somebody and feed it right into Krang to maybe make him smarter. So again, get that whole design, but again, especially adding that much weight to the front, this thing will definitely not stand up. So again, not a great design for this overall, unfortunately, but let me see if I can even get Krang into it. So there I was able to get Krang and him balanced. Hopefully it'll stay there for now. But as usual, we have the classic toy. So here is the Playmates version. Again, very similar design overall. Everything looks pretty similar. I just don't have nearly as many issues getting this one to stand. It stands just fine with the little Krang inside the bubble. So again, looks very similar. So again, they carried over that design. So looks pretty good for that. And then of course we have the cartoon version with the NECA figure. So obviously much smaller in size, which makes sense with the smaller scale, but just pretty cool to see the size comparison and how they turned the walker from the cartoon into the toy there. So that's pretty cool. And again, for scale, here is Donatello. So Donatello is just a little bit taller than Krang in the Bubble Walker. So that is pretty nice as well. So overall, like I said, I like this. You know, it's carrying off what the old toy did. Just I wish this would function a lot better because way too loose to get this to stand. So this will be something we'd either have to put Krang on the little tripod or do something different with him just to be able to get him on the shelf with the others. But yeah, this Bubble Walker I can't trust at all. And next up, we have Bebop, which was the former gangster that got mutated by Shredder with a warthog, becoming a mutant as an enforcer against the Turtles. Now, he looks pretty cool here, again, with our design of a mutant, so humanoid version with a pig or warthog in this instance. So looks pretty good overall, again, taking the design details from that original toy, which looks pretty cool, which is what for this explains why he's got the pink face on it, because the original toy had the pink face, and I'll show you that in a second. But looks pretty good with the nice gold ring in his nose, the blue glasses on his face, on sunglasses or whatever, with the purple mohawk that feeds into the like ponytail there in the back. So pretty nice design, molded design there. It's got the teeth sticking out the front, so it's got like buck teeth with, of course, the warthog tusk there coming out the side with a lip piercing as well. So that's pretty cool, and an ear piercing up there. So a lot of piercings on him. Then we get his body. So mostly this all dark brown body. So again, it's weird going from the pink to the brown. But then we get his outfit as well. So he does have this red leather jacket on over the top that's all been ripped up as he mutated, but it's got some nice patches and like keychain stuff dangling off of it. So that's pretty nice with a face design like stitched on the back there. Then we get the shoulder armor. So he's got like turtle shell armor, which unfortunately, by the way, its design looks like it's old dead turtles because of turtle shell with some turtle skeleton hanging off. So we get a head and little hands there sort of dangling off by chains on both sides. So that's pretty fun, but also morbid at the same time. Get some bands there around his wrist. So a normal like bracelet band there and a chain on the other side wrapped around, with a chain wrapped around as like a belt for his pants as well, with his tail sticking out of the back, so he has a little curly pigtail. And he's got black leather pants that have been all stitched up as well. You can see all the stitchings running through there. He's got a leg brace on his left leg, so nice knee brace design there, with some red shoes, so some probably like some nice street shoes there that look pretty cool, probably whatever he wore as the gangster, but now on his bigger pig-like feet. So those look pretty nice as well. So overall, really nice design for this figure. Really like it a lot. Now, moon-wise, we do get the head that will twist around, so it'll twist around there side to side. Probably get it to twist all the way around, but it seems like it's fighting. And then it can look up that high and down that low. So pretty nice. That's actually got some range there in the neck. Then we get the shoulders that do come up. Now, I'm not sure how high it's going to be able to go here with the turtle shell or anything, but at least it can go all the way up to 90. So that's pretty nice that it goes that far. And of course, can rotate around within there. No bicep twist on this, but we do get the single elbow joint that is pretty stiff, but can bend there to 90 with the rotation. We get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge back and forth. And then to the abs, no crunch or anything. Again, just twist around at the waist. Then down to the hips can come up pretty close to 90, out to the side. Not far from doing the splits again, not all the way though. We get a thigh twist up in there and the single knee joint that can bend back. Again, pretty close to 90, but not all the way. And there is rotation in that. Then we do also get a shin twist down at the bottom of the pants leg, so where the leg actually is a little twist around there. And then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, it's the Super 7, so it doesn't have all the best range with like especially the single knees and elbows, but everything else about it seems to work out pretty nice. No major issues with him. Again, based off the old Playmates toys, we'll go and bring that one in. So there's the Playmates design again, where you can see he gets the pink face from, and then overall the design that you can see there pretty similar. Obviously, this Super 7 has much more details painted onto it, but you can see like the turtle shell design with the turtle skeleton, all that just again nicely detailed and painted on this new one. And then of course our cartoon version. So there are a lot of similar designs and details carried through, just not as morbid with like the turtle shell design. Actually, we do have some of the turtle there around his neck though, but just not as grim with the turtle shell with the skeleton hanging off of it there, but pretty cool. And to our accessories, we do get an additional head with the all brown head this time. So if you don't want to have any of the pink, we can switch this out so it's all brown now. Now, I wasn't able to get the head fully put on, but it's just stuck on there for now, so there you can see what it looks like with the fully brown head. Now, I don't really care either way. I think obviously the brown one looks good, but this I didn't think looked bad either. You know, just had some weird pink details on its face, so it doesn't really matter which one there. They both look good to me. We get some additional hands as well, so we get some fist hands. So he's got 2 light grip hands on already, so we get 2 fists to go along with him, and then we get his weapon. So first we get this big knife, so nice big knife design, and again, all these same weapons came with old Playmates as well. So we get this nice big knife we can put in his hand. So there he's got the knife that he can cut with. We also get this gunner, I guess it's a drill, a shell drill, so he can, obviously sounds pretty morbid, can drill through the turtle shell. So we can put that in his hand instead of the knife. So there he's got the drill in his hand, and finally comes with the trash can lid to use as a shield, so we can put this in his other hand. Okay, so unfortunately the way it was designed, I can't get this into his hands. His hands are way too stiff, so we'd have to heat it up and get it into there, but he does have the shield option, so obviously we could put that into his hand if we want as well. And then finally he comes with all those same weapons on the sprue design, so we just get this that we could use as well if we want, but we have all the weapons already nice and painted, so don't need to use that again. And finally here's Bebop compared to the Ninja Turtles, so you can see just how big they are. So that's a crazy height difference between them, but again, they're from the same line and everything, so fit together. Just crazy how big they are compared to the turtles, so that's a nice big height difference between them. So overall, really nice to have this version of Bebop. I really like the design. Of course, very similar to old Playmates with all the designs and details. I just wish it'd be very easier to get the weapons into his hands. Better than that, you know, like his single elbows and stuff don't really matter too much because he's just got a knife and a gun, so don't really need to bend beyond 90 anyways, but still looks really nice the way it's designed here. And finally, we have Rocksteady to go along with Bebop, which was the former gangster that gets mutated with a rhinoceros to become a mutant. And again, looks really cool here, so nice overall design. So we get the big rhinoceros body, so the all gray skin with the horns on the front. So we get the 2 horns on the front, some teeth sticking out of the mouth, of course his snout there on the front. Nice little red eyes there, so those look pretty crazy and evil, with his military style helmet there that has like the binoculars or whatever it is on top of that. So what he always wears sitting on top of his ears there is nice. You get a nice spine design there on his back, and of course is all skin that looks like just like a rhino, so all like the segmented layer skin with bumps and bridges all over it and everything, so that's nice. Even looks like he's got some like stitching or staples there, so where he's been cut up. You can see he's got a wristband there, so I don't know if that's supposed to be a watch or what the deal is, with another band looks like big ammo there on the side. He has this black tank top sort of shirt on there, which has nice texture to it, then some camo pants, so mostly dark brown, but some black and green thrown in there to make them camo pants. Nice green belt around the waist with some pockets, and again some turtle shells hanging off the side there for like padding, all the way down to the boots. So he's got black boots that have the brown coverings that come down around them as well. So he's much more simple and basic design compared to Bebop, but looks pretty nice. I always love the rhino design for Rocksteady here, and he carries it off pretty nicely. But for movements, we get the head that will twist around, so it can twist all the way around there again. And you look down that far and up that far, so little movements in the head there. We get the shoulders that come up, again, close to 90. I don't know if it's all the way there, but pretty close to it, and rotate around. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 with the rotation, and the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we get the twist around at the waist. Hips will come up pretty close to 90 and out to the side again. Pretty much can do the splits there. We get the thigh twist up at the hip, and the single knee joint that bends back, not all the way to 90 with the rotation. We get a shin twist down at the bottom of the pants and top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, good range and pretty similar to Bebop, so not much difference between the two, and it works out overall pretty nicely. Now again, comparison-wise, we have the Playmates toy version, so again, very similar between these two with the big rhino-like head. Get the helmet, the black shirt, and camo pants with the turtle shell belt design there, so very similar overall design for that. And of course, comparing him to the TV show looks a lot different. Still has the obviously rhino body, the military helmet, but this time he's got a yellow shirt, all sorts of bandoliers wrapped around him, brown pants, and brown boots. So you can see where they obviously took very similar designs and stuff and just carried it over with differences. But then we get his accessories, so it comes with some additional hands. So we get just fist hands that go along with his grip hands, and then we get a number of weapons. So first we get some grenades. We get 3 grenades, little tiny grenades, probably just stick into his hand or whatever, but otherwise I don't know what to do with them unless we can somehow find a place to clip him or something, but we got those. He comes with a knife as well, so he gets this big knife. Looks pretty nice with the serrated blade stuff we can put into his hand. So there he's got the knife in his hand. He also comes with a retro mutagen gun, so obviously he can transform things back, so this nice big military looking gun we can put into his other hand. And then he also comes with a shield, but this time it's a sewer lid, so city sewer there. But again, with the way it's designed, I know I won't be able to get that into his hand, so I'm not even going to try. And finally, he comes with all those same weapons on the sprue as well, so have all the same things there, just in the basic gray color. So overall, Rocksteady looks pretty awesome as well. And again, here is Donatello for size comparison. So again, Donatello and the rest of the turtles will be really small compared to our mutants here, so very nice to have Rocksteady again. Nice design. Just the heads are the biggest downfall of these, because the heads are just way too big, so it takes up a lot of like space and room stuff. So I wish they were a little bit smaller, but you know, it does look like that old toy, and they do look really good overall. Well, there we have our Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ultimates villains, where we got Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So all four of these look really cool, and again, now we have villains to face off against our turtles. I really like a lot of these figures. Like I said, Krang is the only one I don't like, just because of his Bubble Walker. I like Krang itself. I just wish we probably had more of the android body or something, because like I said, this Bubble Walker doesn't work out too well. Really like Shredder, thinks he's awesome, and Bebop and Rocksteady are really nice as well. And it's just crazy how big they are compared to, like, you know, Shredder, if that to be a normal human height. So that's just crazy, the size that they are. And then it's awesome that they come with all the same accessories and everything like the old Playmates toys did, of course, based off those looks, which is really cool. So very nice to have these figures overall. Like I said, Krang is just the only one that's disappointing. But let me know what you thought of these four figures down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.